Back in 2024, I did a video about the game room and just kind of a history about it, different history things with the items that I've acquired, why I collect certain things. But over the past 2 years since that video, it's really evolved, and I just wanted to take the time to really update all you guys about how it's changed over the last 2 years, because it honestly has. As in terms of the mindset, it's still very much, if it's something that is near and dear to my childhood, I will collect it. But if it's something that I don't necessarily need nowadays, I really have been going back on a lot of things that I have collected. For example, I've really slimmed down on my CRTs recently. They've really had no need for me to really have a lot of them, so I've gotten rid of a lot of them, like my VGA one, my Orion, and the one that was a VHS one as well. I just tossed them. They just were not needed anymore. Everything is still kind of the exact same way to a certain degree, but I've made everything look more simpler. When I look back on that one video that I made in 2024 about the game room, it looks really complicated in my opinion. There's very few things that I try to do with my game room that to really differentiate it from other people's that I see in YouTube channels and stuff. Sometimes it can be very impressive when you see someone with this large collection of different figures or posters all over the room. But a lot of the times, to me, that can be very overwhelming when you step into that, or you can really feel the room cramping in on you. And I was starting to really feel that with my personal game room. So what I've done essentially is move around some things while also adding things without really taking away the look of the space, so to speak. So let's get started. Alright, so just as we enter the game room, a few things to keep in mind were that I really wanted to make sure it was really simple looking, but also cool at the same time, where you could really get a sense of what I liked or collected at the same time. A few rules I did have in mind on top of that was that I wanted no cables showing whatsoever whenever you entered the game room. Of course, for the computers that I have set up, I have a little bit of leeway with that, but for anything when it comes to lights or the video game consoles themselves, if you're sitting down in front of everything, there is no cables showing whatsoever. It makes it look clean, it makes it look simple. I also wanted to make sure that just everything was playable right from the get-go. So if someone came into the game room and they saw something like the Virtual Boy or the PS4 or just the Xbox, you had something that was ready to go. So over here, starting where the intro door is my inbox amiibo. So we have Daisy, you have the Tears of the Kingdom Link amiibo, as well as the Ocarina of Time amiibo. You then have Zelda and the Loftwing amiibo. And then you slowly get over to the Castlevania amiibo, which I really think the detail on these is amazing. The Metroid Dread amiibo, as well as Mega Man and the Duck amiibo. I got those for actually pretty cheap as well. Over here, starting with the video game consoles, on my left side I have most of my HDMI consoles, while my right side is mostly my composite cables. So I have my Xbox Series S there, my Wii U, my Glacier White PlayStation 4, my Xbox 360, along with the White Kinect, and as well as an original PlayStation 3 model that can play PlayStation 1 games. I put some stickers there on my PlayStation 4 back when I was in high school. I just liked stickering out my PlayStation at the time. It was kind of fun. All these are my original consoles, as well as ones that I got from friends. Up top, I have my 70-inch LG TV that's made for video games, so my newer consoles like my PlayStation 5 or 4, as well as the Series S. I'm playing Split Fiction currently with a friend. There's my PlayStation 5 and my router. I have a PlayStation 2 original model there, along with below is all my controllers for the various consoles, so it's easy to just pull it out and whip out a controller. I have an original Xbox, as well as a Dreamcast, and there's a Nintendo Switch.
This is the JVC iArt CRT. It's a beast. Shout out to my friend Brady, who helped me carry it all the way up into the game room, up some big stairs. And yeah, it's currently playing Republic Commando. That's another game I'm going through currently. Right there is all the switchers on top of the Nintendo Switch that I have. It's labeled so that everyone can kind of see generically, or just if I'm not here and someone else is currently playing, they can easily switch the consoles. This is kind of the little retro corner over here, but above I have 2 Godzilla posters. One is for Godzilla vs. Biollante, which is my absolute favorite Godzilla movie of all time. And then next to it is a bigger poster of Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, which is, again, in my top 5 favorite Godzilla movies of all time. It's highly underrated in my opinion. I can't wait to see him in Supernova. This is a Magnavox DVD CRT. It does the job. It's pretty bright, actually. On camera, it doesn't look too great, in my opinion, but in person, it's absolutely amazing. It's playing Ninja Turtles right now. That's a Nintendo NES system. It's not hooked up. It's just for show. That's a Toshiba VHS, which is hooked up to the JVC, actually. But it's right next to all my VHS tapes, so it makes it out of convenience. Below that is some of my composite consoles, more so, along with to the left of it as well. But right there is my Retron 3 HD, which plays Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, as well as NES consoles, which is really convenient. They look great. You can plug it into HDMI, but also you can use it composite-wise and all the original controllers. Next to it, I have some in-box sealed games, Earthworm Jim, as well as Super Mario World. There's my Nintendo 64, GameCube, as well as my original Wii that I had growing up. It still works after all this time. I had to only replace the disk drive. Again, my JVC, it just absolutely a beast, but it looks amazing to play on. This is kind of the VR area, so I have my Virtual Boy that a fan sent in, as well as my MetaQuest 3, and then my Wii U game pad is just kind of chilling there. So he's still doing great. I still have to have him like plugged in all times, or else his battery dies. It's not great. The MetaQuest 3S is charging there. It absolutely rocks. It really made me fall in love with VR again. Just that you could hook it up to your gaming PC as well as have it as its own individual thing. So this is where the collection kind of starts of physical media. So this is my VHS tapes. Everything I meticulously buy. I don't have any VHS tapes that I don't want necessarily, or just that I bought out of a whim. Everything I've meticulously collected over time. I haven't really paid anything crazy for any of these. I have some cassette tapes there as well of Jimmy Buffett and Billy Joel. But everything that I've collected here, I've meticulously collected, as in terms of if I find it in a flea market, I will buy it for super cheap. There's only like 2 movies I bought off of eBay, and it's mostly the Godzilla films that you see below. But I've got some Thomas tapes, some old Disney clamshells there, as well as some Star Trek tapes. This is my Godzilla VHS collection. I used to have a ton that were sealed, actually, but I've unsealed most of them around this time. I only have 2 sealed tapes now, which is this one, The Battle for Earth with Mothra, as well as Godzilla's Revenge, which is right there. As you can see, they're fully sealed. I just don't really know what to do with them because I have multiple copies of both of them, so I'll just keep them sealed for now. I do have some Japanese Godzilla tapes, and then behind those are the more boxed collections of Godzilla tapes, you know, ones that you'd get like 5 in a pack. I have, again, some of the other Godzilla tapes. I have them mostly in order of release, from the Showa to the Heisei to the Millennium. But yeah, that's my VHS collection. Above here is some of my action figures that I have sealed, such as my Dennis Hopper Super Mario Brothers action figure. Absolutely love that sucker. As well as a original unmasked Deadpool. There's an N-scale locomotive I absolutely love. trains. I'm currently building my own model train set right now. That's a Lego Toothless. I built him when I was up in New York for a little bit recently. Just kind of was bored. There's a 3D printed Toothless that my friend printed for me. It's kind of a keychain, but you can have it just as a cool figure. There's my Powerpuff Girls action Lego Dimension figures. Pretty cool. They're still sealed. As well as my Overwatch Tracer, which when I was big into Overwatch, I loved that figure. I still do to this day. I'm just not as big into Overwatch, and well as my Star Fox figure. So this is where the main collection is, which is a mix now of both movies and video games. Just because I've started to really collect physical media from movies. Movies are right there, as well as the video games are just kind of spread out to where I like them. Up here is more of the 4Ks, so some 4K steelbooks as well as just normal collector's editions or just normal 4K discs. So I have Krull, How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, Lawrence of Arabia, the 3 Back to the Futures, as well as Dark Crystal, the 2 Tron movies, the 10 Commandments, Master and Commander, and The Last Unicorn. I love collecting steelbooks now, and it's just fun too. I have the collector's edition of the Super Mario Brothers movie from Umbrella Entertainment. That's really cool. I have The Sound of Music, Battleship, Final Fantasy, Duel, Godzilla, Dune from Arrow Video, F1, Tommy Boy, North by Northwest, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Better Off Dead, which is an underrated classic, as well as the 2 Japanese collector's editions for Shin Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One. Over here is my Criterion collection, which I've kind of placed as more of 4Ks going to Blu-rays and then to DVDs, which I've kept really neatly. I've got a few Criterion releases, but I've been getting more into them over time. So things like the Godzilla vs. Biollante got me into it, but then you have Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Some Steelbook Blu-rays that I've kept pretty nice and neat. As well as this is my DVD Speed Racer collection. I have the Blu-ray set right there, but I didn't really know where to put the Mach 5 necessarily that I bought for that video. The DVD section right here, they're covering up the Voltron selection, so I've got the collector's edition for the Vehicle Force as well as the Lion Force back there. And just over time, if I find a DVD, I don't really collect DVDs, but just if I find a DVD that I'm like, it works for the Magnavox, it'll work. So the Turtles collection, different things like the Spider-Man duology or Top Gun, it just kind of works. So below here is where my PlayStation collection is. I've kind of got it where my PlayStation collection morphs into each other. So PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PS Vita, PS4, and then into the PS5 section. So it's just kind of in order. None of these are alphabetized, by the way. I will get to that eventually, but I don't know. I'm just not in a rush right now. I do have some that I need to reprint some box art as well, but a few key favorites of mine is the Sly collection that I have. My PS3 collection is very small. It's just those 2 games, as well as some that I've downloaded, but we'll see. My PS4 collection, which most of my games were digital because I got them for free off of the PS Plus store, but what are you going to do? PS5 collection has grown over time. I'm more happy with the selection that I have now, but still, there's just not enough exclusives in my book. This is my GameCube collection. I do have some Japanese games up here, as well as the Game Boy GameCube player. This is Mario Party 7, the Japanese edition. I got it for $1 in a thrift store. And it's a Game Boy player disc. And then there's Mario Party 5, which, again, I got for $1. Again, those are my GameCube collection, which most of them I bought back in the day when they were going for like $5 a pop. you would walk into a thrift store or a classic retro game store, and when the Wii was in its heyday, they were so cheap. This is my Wii collection, which most of these I got when I was a kid. I've only collected a few Wii games over the last, 10 years, and it's mostly if I find something that I maybe am interested in, but I don't have. This is my 3DS collection. I don't have too many DS games in box. A lot of them are without the case, but those are my cased games. That's my new 3DS XL, which I did buy at launch. So that is the original one. I did not pay an upcharge price, which they go for ridiculous prices nowadays. This is a Japanese PS Vita, white, as well as my original blue Nintendo 3DS, which still runs pretty great. Again, those are my 3DS games, which I've hacked my new 3DS now, so I can have almost every game in the book. So I don't really see a need to collect physically anymore for the 3DS. If I have a game that's physical, it's because I really want it. That is just a random assortment of games in there. Things from the Dreamcast that I've burned, or random Wii games. I think there's a GameCube game in there too. I do have a Sonic Adventure CD in there, but it's because the front of the case was broken. This is my Wii U collection, just from what I've collected over the time. There's only one sealed game I've got, and it's the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. It's just kind of sitting up there, just because then no one can get their grubby little hands on it. This is my Switch collection, which is still kind of small compared to a lot of other people, but I just mostly collect what's the main titles that you want to play on a Switch. So I'm pretty happy with my collection there. I haven't gotten a Switch 2 yet, so I mean, I need a few more games in that category to really see the Switch is worth it. Give me the new Mario, give me the new 3D Zelda, and we're good. That's my Dreamcast collection. I put it next to the Xboxes because a lot of people associate the Xbox as the Dreamcast 2, especially since a lot of Sega games were on there, but those are my original Xbox games, as well as it goes into the 360 library, which I don't have a whole lot of either, but I'm slowly collecting over time, just if I see a game that I haven't played before, because I didn't grow up with both consoles. Again, it goes into my PlayStation 1 collection. I only have one big box game, and it's WrestleMania, which I grew up with. Again, it goes into my PlayStation 2, to PlayStation 3, to PlayStation 4, to PlayStation 5. Just a quick little overview of my PlayStation 5 games again. This is kind of my random assortment area. So books, big box PC games. Just if it matches the game room. I'm a big avid reader, but if it doesn't match the game room, I don't put it in here. But if something does, it'll go on this shelf. So I have a couple of Godzilla books. Right here is the Kirby's pamphlet that came with the 20th anniversary. And it was just there because I don't know what happened to the original case. Some Ricky Ricotta books, which is Dave Pilkey's underrated series, better than Captain Underpants. The Calvin and Hobbes collection, as well as just some random Super Mario Brothers stuff back there. Just if it matches the game room, it'll match. So things like the Legend of Zelda books, Super Mario, different behind the scenes of Godzilla. There's a Scott the Woz book there that I've collected from him. There's an Indiana Jones guide that came out right before the Crystal Skull movie, so it kind of goes over the first three. Some video game walkthroughs as well. Comic books. These are my big box PC games over here. So I've got the battle chest for StarCraft as well as Fate. I wish I still had the Warcraft battle chest from back in the day, but the battle chest from StarCraft is still pretty cool. This is my brother's gaming PC, so he's now upgraded to a gaming PC, so he's actually got a pretty beefy PC back there, but he's got his own little corner here, so that's kind of neat. Some celebrity signatures that we've gotten over the time. So we met the English voice actor for Princess Vivi from One Piece, as well as I met Christina Ricci, who played Trixie in Speed Racer. I do have a few other signatures I've got to put up, mostly from other Speed Racer interviews that I've had. So for example, I got to put up Paulie Litt's signature that he gave me. Very generous of him. I've got a few certifications up here, such as my Last Crusade jacket. I did buy an official Indiana Jones jacket that was made by the original pattern designers. You still can to this day, and it comes with that certification of authenticity there. My friend, she gifted me this for graduation. It's a Starfleet Academy authenticity thing. She graduated me as a red shirt, so shout out to Leanne. These are my pin collections, so it's a pin board, so I've got a couple of Disney pins, as well as the just random pins that you'll get at like flea markets or different showings, so if you go to a con mostly, but those are all my Disney pins. I do have a few rare ones that are out of print, such as my Bolt and my Alien Encounter pin, which is probably one of my favorite things in my whole collection as a whole. Again, that's a sealed Zelda Wii U Twilight Princess, as well as these are where my figures are, my unboxed ones. So I have my Amiibo right there, not too many, as well as my Disney Infinity collection. So I was big in the Disney Infinity when it first came out, and they were actually getting pretty cheap over time. You could get figures for like $5, especially when they went out of business. So I almost have every single one of them. I don't really see an incentive to get all of them now, but, you know, it's kind of cool to have them all on a shelf. They're really good figures. Just a couple more figures like Pokemon and Spider-Man. That's the Super Mario Brothers popcorn bucket that you get for the movie, so it's pretty cool that I still have that. There's a bunch of movie tickets in there as well that I've kept. Those are some Godzilla figures, and then this is my Voltron shelf, which I'm looking for the Blue Gladiator Voltron figure. I will have a complete Voltron set then, because originally Voltron was 3 different Japanese animes, and then they kind of combined them to make different shows or different Voltrons. And so there's the Blue Gladiator that I'm looking for. There's the Lion Force that is fully complete. I do have a few extras back there as well. These are all completely redone by me, repainted, resurfaced, all that good stuff. I do have a complete Vehicle Force set as well. The only thing I'm missing is on one of the fists. He's missing the hand part, but it was very easy to lose it from back in the day. So that's the only part that I'm looking for the Vehicle Force. This is my Godzilla shelf, so I've got a few Godzilla figures that I've collected over my whole life, so these are just a few of them. There's the Godzilla beer. I'm looking for the other 3. Some lunch boxes that were pretty cool. I have the villains on one side, as then the Godzilla figures on the other. So a few of these have stuck with me almost my whole life. The Burning Godzilla and the original Green Godzilla have been with me for almost 20 years, I want to say. I did finally find a pack of Destruction, fully sealed. I got a killing on that on an eBay auction. My friend Cole is very jealous of that. There's the Godzilla New Empire, the mist breath, where you would shove water in the top, and Godzilla would form mist out of his mouth. Just honestly really cool. That's something that I've always wanted to have since a kid, something like that. It's cool to have that finally. There's the couch, nothing too special. Some controllers that I've been using recently, so PS4, PS5, as well as the Series S, which I can use for my PC. That's a Mothra blanket, actually, that comes out of a larva plush, actually, so, just use that every once in a while. Some Super Mario Brothers plushes that I've gotten over the last year. When I was in New York, I just won them out of a claw machine. This is my recording studio / gaming PC, so anytime you see me interview someone or just play some video games, it's going to be right here. So that's the angles that I'm shooting at now. You can see I'm currently editing together a Final Wars trailer, but yeah, that's my recording studio. Just a little sink area. This is the Oswald section. I'm a huge Oswald fan because of Epic Mickey. They did a lot for the 100th anniversary of Oswald, so I collected most of that. Well as just some random assortment junk over here, such as a Lakitu that my friend Christian gave me. a Hedwig figure, as well as the vinyl for Speed Racer, the soundtrack. That's the limited edition. If you want to know more about that, I have a video on it that I did with Peyton. There is a Top Gun Maverick poster that I have from seeing the movie from back in the day. I'm trying to have it where this section right here is going to be all movie posters. That's why I have a lot of sections that are kind of blank on the walls, which I'm going to try and keep simple more, but I do have places where it's like, okay, in the future, I can put something there. So in my closet currently, I do have a Godzilla -1 poster from when we saw the movie, and I can put it over there as well. I'm going to do a video on the closet in the future. That's a whole other can of worms, basically, of content there. These are just some lanyards that me and my brother have gotten over the last, I don't know, 10 years or something like that. Disney ones, Godzilla ones, just different stuff that we were gifted over time. And yeah, that's the game room. It's pretty simple, but as far as the look of it, I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. It's just a little corner of heaven, basically. It's enough where if you want to come in and play some video games, you're more than welcome to. And it's simple and nice. So, like I said, I wanted to keep it nice and simple. When you sit down like I am here, this is the view. So there's no cables showing whatsoever almost, except for the main TV. And that's the way that I like it. It's nice and simple. When you walk in, you're able to play any kind of console you want. Everything is ready at a whim's notice.
So yeah, that's it so far, really. I mean, there's not a whole lot that I can really think about collecting-wise or making this necessarily cooler. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with where it is right now. There's a lot that I have done to make this exactly what I always dreamed about. Of course, I mean, it could always use a pinball machine at the end of the day, but I think that this game room has turned out almost exactly the way I wanted to. Of course, you can always add more things, but honestly, I don't really see the need to anymore. It's got everything that I could want. It's easy for pick up and play, that if anyone wanted to come over and try out a console that they've never had before, you can. It's very easy to. I've made it where everything is set up exactly the way that I like it. And I just look forward to being able to share that with you guys in the coming future. Of course, if anything changes in the next few years, we can always do another update. But in the meantime, have yourself a great day.